Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex for short, was one of the last and largest carnivores to ever live on Earth. It lived during the Late Cretaceous period, which lasted from about 100 million to 66 million years ago. But how did these massive meat eaters impact the world around them? What animals lived alongside the T-Rex? And what was life like for these creatures before the asteroids hit? Join us as we travel back in time to learn all about the world the T-Rex roamed. The Tyrannosaurus definitely lived up to its name, which translates to tyrant lizard. These creatures were true predators, happily hunting down other animals for food. In fact, they were one of the largest carnivores that ever lived, with only a few other prehistoric meat eaters rivaling their size. The T-Rex had powerful jaws and some of the strongest bite forces of all time. With such a powerful bite, it's no wonder they were at the top of the food chain. But just how big were these beasts? On average, they grew to around 40 or 45 feet long and weighed about 7 to 8 tons. That's about the size of an elephant. Their enormous heads were almost 5 feet long and had 2 large horns above the eyes. These were likely used for show and may have even been used in battles between males to establish dominance. Even their tail was incredibly long, measuring up to 20 feet in length. All of this made the T-Rex one of the most fearsome predators to ever exist. And honestly, we are surprised that more animals didn't evolve to protect themselves against them. With such a powerful predator living alongside them, you would think that herbivores would be hard to come by. But surprisingly, this wasn't the case. The T-Rex lived in an area that is now called the Western Interior Basin of North America. This region was a supercontinent that contained a massive inland sea. Because of the sea, the climate was quite humid and warm. Because of these conditions, a wide variety of plants could grow here, including many different types of conifers, cycads, and flowering plants. This provided plenty of food for the large herds of herbivores that lived there. Some of the most famous herbivores from the Late Cretaceous include the horned dinosaurs, Triceratops, and the duck-billed dinosaurs, Edmontosaurus. Other large plant-eating dinosaurs that lived alongside the T-Rex include the Ankylosaurus, Boreapelta mark-mcshelley, and the Sauropophus. There were also smaller animals that lived alongside the T-Rex, such as the mammal-like creature, Gobiodon, and the small flying reptile, Pteranodon. So even though the T-Rex was a huge predator, they weren't the only animal in their ecosystem. While it's easy to imagine the T-Rex as being solitary hunters, scientists now believe they likely lived in groups, similar to wolves. By working together, they would have been able to take down much larger prey and protect their young. Evidence suggests that they hunted and cared for their young in similar ways to birds of prey, such as eagles and hawks. While not much is known about their social behavior, scientists hope that further discoveries will shed light on this fascinating animal's behavior. Sadly, we don't know much about the lives of these creatures because they went extinct about 66 million years ago. You've probably heard of the asteroid that killed off most of the dinosaurs, but did you know that the asteroid impact wasn't the only reason for their extinction? In reality, the asteroid greatly sped up their extinction. But before the asteroid, the T-Rex and other dinosaurs were already facing a mass extinction event. This means that even if the asteroid hadn't hit, the T-Rex would likely have gone extinct within a few million years. Scientists aren't sure exactly why this happened, but they think it had something to do with the shape of the supercontinent, Pangaea. As the continent began to break apart, the climate changed dramatically, leading to the mass extinction event. So while the T-Rex was one of the most fearsome predators to ever exist, it wasn't the only animal in its ecosystem. They lived alongside other large meat eaters as well as hundreds of species of herbivores. Sadly, we'll never know what life was like in the world the T-Rex roamed because every single member of this species died out millions of years ago. But thanks to fossils, we can get a glimpse into the world these creatures once inhabited. Maybe one day, we'll discover even more about what life was like when the T-Rex roamed the Earth.